bet it is, son. This is a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman or a girl.
Hey, welcome to Man Cave. I'm so excited to be having you tonight. Listen, all of my male, alpha males, masculine man, male man, this is your time. I'm so excited to be coming to you live tonight. Listen, it's going to be an incredible time today. We are having a great episode here at Man Cave, and we're dealing with something that's quite controversial and a bit complex to the ears that would not want to hear, but at the same time, there is a group of men who really need to hear this. The reason why I had to dress up, I just thought that, the topic has a bit of character, so I might as well be a little bit dramatic with my dress code. By the way, this is what I like. If I was to make a choice and make a decision to dress up on a day-to-day basis, I'll probably be coming up like this. But we have to look all formal for the weaker brethren and those who prefer formality as it relates to ministry. But I'm so excited. Listen, I want to talk to a real man today. I want to talk to a real man. We're talking about wealth creation. How do you build wealth, right? At the same time, dealing with the fake rich in the days that we live in, because that is the complexity that every man finds himself faced with, and that is, there's so much that we see on social media. Social media is selling a lie. There is what I call the online streamline euphoria that has been, sold for such a long time now. And that is through social media handles, Instagram models, and all of that. The bling bling kind of lifestyle that we see. Nobody posts bad pictures. And what happens psychologically to a lot of people is they're prompted to frustration. They feel like they're not successful. They feel like I'm not, growing as quick as I should and all of that. And consequently, they end up getting themselves into debt in order to look rich. And here is the problem with that. You don't want to look rich without the substance thereof. You don't want to look wealthy without the substance thereof, because it is the substance thereof that makes impact, that will change your life and that of your family and those that are connected to you, maybe through philanthropy or giving or something like that. Because pretending to be rich can make you poor. Learn to live within your means. You cannot live a wild life with a low budget. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot be all glamorous and luxurious at the expense of the destiny of your great grandchildren. The good book says ever so clearly, ever so strongly, it says that a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his great grandchildren. And the opposite is true. A wicked man leaves nothing for his great grandchildren. And this is what we're faced with today. It is wicked to die, and everybody thought you were that well off. And then your children are stranded, caught up in debt. They have to pay off your debt, and they have to pay all. No, no, no. No alpha male would allow that to happen. An alpha male will rather have the substance thereof than the look of it. You don't want to look rich, you really want to have the substance thereof. So instead of buying all of these brands that are all trendy and all of that, let's start buying assets, not liabilities, because liabilities will surely make you good, look good. You will definitely have a lot of following on Instagram, but definitely no bank will be following you to your office. I'd rather have the bank come to my office than have likes on my Instagram. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So pretending to be rich can definitely make you poor. You have to learn to live within your means. All right. So don't change who you are, consequently, because of people around you. All right. In order to please others, be yourself and choose what people you will allow into your circle. That's very, very important, guys. You see, that right there is one of the things that really, 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 change, my mindset altogether. Change my mindset because I just made up my mind to say, I'm not going to look like it. I want to be it. All right. So rich people stay rich by living like they're broke, and broke people stay broke by living like they're rich. Just think about that. Just think about that. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, where other people are, they can afford to have about, three Lambos and Ferraris and all of that. Instead of buying all of these liabilities, they're buying lands. They're buying lands. Instead of living in these estates and all of that, they would rather have a normal house and take that money and put it into real estate or put it into a business that's actually making money. You understand? Because at the heart of every alpha male, you should have wealth creation, because what makes you an alpha is that you have your finances in order and that of the next generation in order. And please do remember this. Remember what I said some time ago, talking about prosperity. It's not prosperity unless it can be transferred to the next generation or to the next posterity. There is no prosperity without posterity. If you cannot give it to the next generation, it's not solid enough. It's not substantial enough. And you want to have the substance of it. You don't want to have the look of it. It's okay to drive a nice car, guys. It's okay to live in a nice house. It's okay to look good. It's okay to dress up. It's okay, to come across as wealthy. It's okay. I mean, listen, nobody want to look broke. But to be honest with you, it's quite interesting. Somebody asked me, what is the secret of the wealthy? And I thought about it for some time. And I said, the secret of the wealthy is the secrecy thereof. They have the money, but they don't want to have any. They don't want to. They don't want everybody knowing that they have it. They'll rather pretend like they don't have it. And the greatest luxury of the wealthy has always been their privacy. Why? Because that's how money is made. I'm talking about real money, by the way. That's how real money is made. People will rather be hidden than be on public display and be known for having a lot of money, because privacy also gives them a sense of assurance as it relates to their security, because when their privacy is compromised, their security is compromised. And we all know that the rich are always on the attack. That is just reality. That is just what's going on. That is what you see on the day-to-day basis. You understand? Now, I want to share something with you guys. All right, that I thought was quite interesting, very, very interesting. And please, you got to hear me loud and clear, because this definitely will change your life. You see, there are few signs of the fake rich that I have noticed. Few signs of the fake rich, and one of them is I call it a hyperbole phenomenon, and that is, they always want to exaggerate what they have made, what they have, and who they are. They always want to exaggerate what they have made, and who they are. That is the number one complexity with the fake rich. Fake people, people who are fake rich, always want to come across as the biggest in the city, as the biggest in the table, as the biggest in town, as the biggest wherever. Why? Because they already know they're not the biggest. So they're trying to, compensate for that. Somebody said this to me. He says, people with smaller compensate with big cars. Big cars compensate for smaller. So sometimes people will rather look big because they know privately they're really small. So they want to be publicly big because they're privately small. They know that they don't have that kind of money, but they want to look like they have that kind of money publicly. All right. So the number one sign that somebody is fake rich is they care more about brand perception than the quality. They don't mind wearing a fake Rolex. They want to wear everything that is fake. They want to, and that's one of the things that I have personally learned to say. You would rather have a quality watch than go buy something that looks like it but it's not it. It looks like it, but it's not it. They care about the brand perception, not about the quality. The rich care about the quality. They will rather go to a shop that's not trendy, that has no brand name attached to it, and they just care about the quality of the fabric and how it feels on the body. Because real comfort really comes with real quality. And sometimes the fact that it looks rich doesn't mean it's comfortable. All right? They name drop a lot. They always want to talk about brands. They always want to talk about cars. They always want to talk about all of that. They always want to talk about the house they own. They always want to talk about people who name drop most of the time use things in order to compensate for something that's not there. And that's why all of my alpha males, please hear me loud and clear. You will rather have the substance and not the shadow of wealth. The substance of wealth is really, really, really made in the secrecy of life. People who really make money are not going around flaunting, they're not going around trying to sell this perception. They don't care about the narrative that's going around about them. They care about the real story. And that is the real story. What's really going on, the reality that they find themselves in. So they name drop a lot. Number two. Number three, constant need of validation. They always want people who validate them. Oh, man, you look good. Oh, is that shoe this and this? Oh, I love your belt. Is that belt this and this? Oh, my goodness, you're driving this car. You know what I'm saying? There's always a need of, because there's already, what I call inferiority complex. And therefore, they're trying to use, public validation in order to feel better about themselves. All right. I want to run through quickly the fake rich so that I can talk about wealth a little bit. They brag about their plans. They brag about their plans. And what I have realized is this: because wealthy people most of the time are very strategic, they don't go around talking about what they have planned and what they're putting together. They don't go around talking about systems they've put in place in order to create money. They don't talk about that unless it's for reasons of mentorship or just sharing with brothers and sisters, But then with the other people who really don't have a plan, they always have ideas running through their mind and they always want to talk about these ideas. The fourth thing is they always talk about the money. They always talk about money. One thing that I've realized, and this is something I have learned from a billionaire mentor. It's quite interesting how they never want to have a conversation about money because they have overcome money. Because they are not at the level where now it's about making the money. The money is making itself for them now. You understand? They're no longer serving money. Money serves them. So they don't really want to talk about money. They want to talk about numbers, and that's the difference. They want to talk about numbers. If the numbers make sense, then they want to make signs. But if you want to talk about money, then you just throw them off. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, now, number 5, they brag about their plans. I talked about that. They love being noticed. They love being noticed. They get offended when you don't notice what they have, what they're driving. They get mad when you don't notice how they look and all of that, because the fake rich really live, one of the most complex lives ever in the face of the earth. Are you hearing what I'm saying? All right. Now, here's something that I find to be very, very powerful about wealth creation that I want to share with you just a little bit. All right. You see, if you are going to be a wealth creator, wealth creation agent, you have to understand what wealth is. All right. And remember, from the Hebrew, I talked to you guys about the word kowach and the word kayel, the ability to make wealth. That word ability, kowach, and that word wealth, kayel, literally gives us a picture of the breaking of wells. So from one well of water, another well is created. So you're able to trace the depth of one well in order to go find another well in the same region, or in the same place, in the same topography. You understand what I'm saying? So one stream, one well is able to create another one. Before you know it, you have one well that has created two wells. Now you have three wells that creates six wells, let's say, yearly or something like that. And that is really the concept of wealth creation, as multiple streams of income born out of what you originally started. All right. So that is key. That is very key. Another thing about the Hebrew word kayel is that there is family, there is fitness, there is freedom, because the real fundamental, the three fundamentals of wealth are these are family, fitness, and freedom. All right, because it is a generational thing, so the family has to be involved and it has to be transferred to the next generation. Because riches, it's for your lifetime, it's comfort within the parameters of your lifetime, but wealth transcends your lifetime. It goes, to the next generation. And then that's very key to understand, ladies and gentlemen, because it is built on relationships, and it is built by building relationships, because the greatest commodity you can have to create wealth is people. You empower people and other people to be agents of wealth, and you are an agent of wealth yourself. So there is a chain that you create, the structures that you create, that then position you for wealth creation. Number two, fitness, because there is no such a thing as wealth without health. And that's why when you are really in the process of wealth creation, you want to make sure that you don't compromise your health. Your health is very, very important, because you cannot build wealth if you are not healthy. But sometimes you almost have to neglect your wealth to be rich. But then when you are now rich, you have to now look after your wealth, your health, in order to make wealth. Oh, I just said something right there, man. Because what happens is, before you make your first 10 million, it's a process. It's not easy. You are growing as the business is growing, because your first 10 million, by the way, is not for funding your lifestyle. It's for making sure that the strong base of wealth creation is strong. So at the operational basis, the micro level of business, 10 million is really the minimum in order to have a strong foundation. That's the money that should already be circulating in the company. That's when we say that you have an established business. That's not really a mega business. It's not a macro business. It's a micro business. So the first 10 million is not for funding your lifestyle. It's basically for building that strong foundation, that's a strong base, in order to venture into your wealth creation. But when you are down dealing with the foundation, you almost have to neglect your health. You're not sleeping well. You're not eating well. Everything that you do is almost unhealthy, because you have to focus on making sure that the machine is working. When you get the machine right, and now you are now considered rich, you now don't care about being rich anymore. You care about your health, because it is your health now that positions you for wealth creation. So it is rich, health, wealth. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And you don't come to rich without a family structure, without a group of people, or without partnerships, or without, business partnerships or contracts that you then get through other people. It's family, fitness, or health, and then freedom. You see, the reason why we need money, ladies and gentlemen, is so that we can buy into freedom. You don't want to be in the position where you have to rely on somebody in order for you to have great impact. Oh, please, you got to hear me loud and clear. You don't want to rely on somebody in order for you to touch the lives of other people. You don't want to do that. But what you want to do is you want to systematically build in such a way that you have a sense of freedom in order for you to touch whoever needs to be touched. if it's charity, if it's ministry, if it's whatever, you want to come to a place of independence. You want to come to a place of freedom where you're able to do exactly what God would have you to do. You understand? So those are the three major fundamentals of wealth: family, fitness, and freedom. All right? That's very, very, and when you're in this process of wealth creation, there's always constant fights with the family. You're always exhausted because of overworking. All right? The job has to be done, and sometimes, some parts of what you do, you really hate, and you gotta do what you gotta do in order for you to do what you really love doing. You know what I'm saying? And consequently, this process really requires serious maturity. And that's why, when you look at Deuteronomy, how God talks, reminds, because Deuteronomy is a book of remembrance. It's really reading, the law again or twice in order for these people to remember. So God says, remember the Lord your God, for it is He that gives you the ability to create wealth, and that's Deuteronomy 8:18. Remember the Lord your God, for it is He that gives you the ability to create wealth. Now, the ability there, the word ability, kowach, is spiritual ability, it's emotional ability, and also it is socio-economic ability. Emotional ability means when you are going through the stress that comes with making money, the stress that comes with building systems and leading people, the stress that comes with running a company, you have the capacity to endure all of that and still keep your family healthy. And what do I mean by that? Your family is the most important commodity in all of this. So you don't want to create wealth and compromise the family, because the family will then be the people to carry the wealth into the next generation. Oh God. Into the next. You cannot destroy your family in the name of making the money. You cannot destroy the family structure in the name of making sure that they're financially stable. Because when you now come to a place where the money is there, the family will not be there. So go watch. God gives us the ability now, in order to be able to psychologically, endure the pressure that comes with running all of the structures, entrepreneurial pressure, and then be able then to keep your family par to the vision that God has given you. The vision that you carry must be in alignment with the mentality and the mindset of your family. And that's why sometimes you have to just take your family away on vacation and literally sit with them and tell them about where you are and what's going on and why are we feeling the way we're feeling. Why is it that we argue this week? Is because this week was the most, intensive time of the year, or this week was the most intensive time at the company, so we are not emotionally stable. And that's the ability that comes with emotionally handling what happens in business, the intellectual ability to be able to think through the process. Because when you are in production and you're trying to make sure that the product has a level of competence, excellence, and substance, what happens is you are almost dimmed not to think, but you need to think throughout the process, because thinking is what will prepare you now for your next level. You have to think through the process. As you run what you have to run on a day-to-day basis, you have to think through the process. Don't just think about what you're doing now. Think about what is it that you might have to do in the next 3 months, in the next 4 months, in the next year, in the next 2 years. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's very, very important, guys, as it relates to wealth creation. So the three fundamentals of wealth creation are very, very important: family, fitness, freedom. And you have to handle family. You have to handle health in all of that. All right. Number two, be aware of conventional way. All right. Be aware of conventional way. I want to jump that a bit. Build a business system. And what do I mean by that? You see, I was talking with my wife during the course of the week. We've been handling a lot of things as it relates to Cape Town, Durban, and other places, because we are now in a season where our company is about to make the greatest transition ever. And we have to handle all of this in the midst of running the company itself. So you can imagine, we are now, let's just say, in Johannesburg running the company. At the same time, we have to think about what needs to be done in Durban and Cape Town, and how the business model might have to change because of different different places. You know what I'm saying? So I was saying to her, now that we are now getting into the stage of we now have to remember the basics. How did we get to where we are? And sometimes you have to go to the basics. As it relates to building of systems, you have to remember the basics. What is it that got me right here where I am? And sometimes, if you are in the business of selling something, maybe you're selling a product. Sometimes you have to remember, what is it that we did in order to put the product together? Because there are three things to business. There's product, there's people, there's processes. So these are the three major fundamentals, or three major components of running a business. And that is the product, the people, the process. What is it that we did in our processes of running the company that increased us, that made us one of the finest competitors in the sector? What is it about our product that was so excellent, and what can we do to make sure that the quality of our product is still, at that place of dominance? Because sometimes it's not just the quality, it's the quantity. You got to have the qualitative quality of a product in check. And that is, if the product is of great quality, but then it's not great in quantity, you have a product that's lovely, but then you don't know how to make the lovely product in big numbers, then it becomes a problem. And with every company, that's what happens. Now that we are growing, what can we do to make sure that we maintain the quality of our product? Now that we are spreading to other parts of the country, to other provinces and all of that, how do we make sure that we keep the quality? Because guess what? If my product is in the Northwest region, or in the Gauteng region, or whatever, I can always go to where the product will be delivered and make validations myself. But what happens if my product then will go into another country every day? How do I make sure that my production maintains the quality of that which I'm taking to the people? Because there's a group of people I'm gunning for. And I said this to my wife some years ago. I said, I only want to work with blue chip companies because I want to be a blue chip company myself. That is the fastest way to be a blue chip company. I want to work with big brands because I want to be a big brand. And that is the fastest way to sell into the big brand, to sell myself into the big brand prospectus. Now, watch this now. It's very important for you to hear this. You got to hear me now. You see, what happens is the excellence of production requires the competence of productivity. The excellence of production requires the excellence of productivity. And sometimes the two really must be intricately interwoven together. You don't want to have a great product, but you're not getting it right to the people accordingly, because you are looking at this group of people. So sometimes the product is not the issue, the logistics is the issue. So that's why we have to learn to build all of these business systems. Sometimes one system makes another system work. Sometimes your product is not a problem. It's the delivery that is the issue. You almost have to specialize in the delivery sector, in the logistics sector, in order to get your primary business right. And that's how wealth is created. When you have a product that has to be delivered with such a level of excellence and on time to your clients, you now have to venture into logistics so that you handle it yourself. Because when you are using the third party to deliver your product, they don't really care about your product. They care about invoicing the fact that they arrive at the place of delivery. Good God Almighty. So you have to build systems. And sometimes a problem is an opportunity for wealth creation. You see, uh, you're selling a product. Your product must be delivered on time, but you're always having issues with transportation. So what do? You take transportation. You excel in transportation. You get your transportation right. Before you know it, you have a division for transportation. And before you know it, that division needs another division, and and that's the breaking of wells. One well opens for another well. Another well opens for. Now, when you have 6 wells, you can always double up. Oh, good God Almighty! Double up, double up, double up. Before you know it, you have this entire monster, and you don't even know how did I create such a monstrosity type of a company. So the building of system is very important. All right. Identify the parts of your business that still require your time. Find ways to automate them in order for your time not to be spent there. So you open up another division, have a group, have a CEO for that particular division, who will then submit to the group CEO, and then it's now automated. All of that now is moving on its own. You understand? Number 4, attract money instead of chasing it. So I said this some time ago. Don't look for money. Increase your value, and money will look for you. You see, people are wondering. Somebody was asking me, Christian, some time ago was asking me, and they were saying to me, I think about a week ago, they were saying, why is it that you don't focus on offering? You're not asking for money for broadcasts. You're not trying to push this whole selling and all of that. No, I'm all about making sure I get the message out there until people realize that I am that valuable and I really have the message. And what happens then is God begin to release people and empower people to have a burden to carry the vision with you. You don't go looking for people who will carry the vision with you. No, God will look for those people, empower those people, and those people are going to be a part of this, and it's going to touch the entire world. Assemblies of God, Vanda, I think even during the my book launch, they sent a letter and all of that. So I was on the phone with the president yesterday, and he was saying to me, "Say, Ken, you see, we just want to hear the word of God that you carry, and what we will do is we are going to mobilize all of our churches in Vanda, in that whole region, put them in one place, and have you come and preach." Guess what? Guess what? I was not the one asking for anything. And even when I preached for them I didn't want their offering, because people realize that if you value, then you become valuable. But if you are looking for money, then it's about the money. Oh God. And people don't even realize this, especially preachers. If you're a pastor, you got to hear me loud and clear. Please don't look for money when you do ministry. If you carry the word of God and you really carry the heart of God, there's going to be people out there with resources who will want to make sure that that heart of God, that revelation you carry, goes to the ends of the world. God is going to give a burden to somebody to take that to other nations. Don't look for it; it's gonna look for you. That's basically what I'm saying. All right. So attract money instead of chasing it. All right. How can I make money starting a business? How can I make a passive income? Those are questions that people are asking. But you see, if you have a great product and you have developed and taken time to, so this Sanilem Flongo, by the way, is one of my mentees in Durban. So this particular man, he's a genius. So he developed an app. Elo app is the name of the app. So this particular app, you can literally go on your phone and order a car wash service at your offices, and they will come and wash your car. You can order a chef in to come and cook for the family for that particular night and all of that. I mean, incredible, incredible. And what's going on with him is because he has developed a product, all of these other independent, strong companies now want to work with him because what he has is just remarkably great. The value, the product he has carries attracts the money. He's not the one looking for the money. So it's very, very important. All right. So be responsible and accountable. That's number 5. All right. Be responsible and accountable. You see, people who have a wealth creation mindset are problem solvers. They don't run away from problems. They're always trying to solve problems. And let me tell you something. If you solve a billion-rand problem, you get paid in billions. When you solve a million-rand problem, you get paid in millions. When you solve a 500,000 problem, you get paid in thousands. That is just how the world is structured. It is systemic. It is just the way it is. If you run away from problem solving, you are going to have a problem. I mean, just for instance, look at the man we celebrate so much, David. David became a king by solving a problem that was Goliath. The brothers have been there, they've been eating, and it's quite interesting. They're eating, but they're not fighting. Because food is really for men that are fighting. They're eating, but they're not fighting. They're resting and eating. And it's a serious problem that we have in this generation. Men in this generation just want to eat and rest. But what are you resting from? One of the questions you have to ask yourself is, do I deserve to sleep? Yes, you need to sleep. Everybody needs to sleep. We know that scientifically, but do you deserve to sleep? And if your money is sleeping when you're sleeping, you don't deserve to sleep. You don't deserve to sleep. You gotta wake up. I mean, besides the fact that my kids have not been feeling well, vomiting all over the place, I was on the phone talking with this fleet manager, making sure that, my trucks have arrived where they need to arrive. I'm on the phone all the time. I'm on the phone. And sometimes my stuff is probably sleeping, but I cannot be sleeping because I'm not at that level where I should be sleeping. So David solves the problem called Goliath and he gets the job. And guess what? The man was anointed for the job, but in order for the appointing to take place, he had to solve a problem. And God is looking for a people that can solve problems, not who run away from problems. Very, very important. Execution, all right? Not ideas. Execution is king, guys. Execution is king. We have great visionaries, great thinkers, but we have so many few legendary workers. You see, if you are a great visionary, you better have a legendary work ethic. You cannot afford to have a vision that's worth $50 billion with a minimum wage work ethic. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Execution. You gotta work it. You gotta work it. Google is an example. Before Google, there was already many search engines, but Google was one of the best execution. Similarly, there were already many digital music players before iPod, isn't it? But Apple was one of the best executions. Execution. You gotta get it done, my darling. You gotta get it done, gentlemen. You gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. Getting things done is what makes things done. Gotta get it done. It's very important. Focus, very important. Don't be shattered all over the place. You see, most men are not focused. You see, what makes a lot of people wealthy is that it's a mastery of craft. Master your own craft. Be the best at it. And when you have mastered your craft and you are the finest at it, that craft then positions you consequently to be the finest. And therefore people would want your services because you are the finest at doing this. You don't do everything. You're not a jack of all trades. Mayweather talking to Kenny, I think on Showtime or something like that. He says, "You are a master. You do a lot of things. You explore a lot of things, but you're a master of none." He says, the reason why you interview me is because I've mastered boxing. I'm not the one looking for the interview. You're the one looking for the interview. So no matter how you insult me, at the end of the day, I master my craft. But do you master your craft? Because what makes a man distinctive is not the fact that he's able to do something. It's that he's the best at doing something. It's not who did it first. It's who did it right. Focus is very key. Good God Almighty. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Am I helping somebody here? Very, very important, guys. You don't want to be a jack of all trades, but you want to be a master of an individual thing. Even if you do a plethora of things, all of those things must be about mastering this particular one thing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Ah, well. It's Man Cave, it's Man's World. I'll see you next time. This is incredible. Please make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Kenneth Molefe Senior, to get a little bit more of our content. On Facebook, we are God Embassy, the Grace Life Church, Kenneth Molefe Senior as well, and Kenneth Molefe, my personal profile, Barbara Taylor as well. Please make sure, guys, that you follow those social media handles so that we can keep in touch. Our YouTube channel is on and on fire. Please go and subscribe at Grace Life with Kenneth Molefe Senior, and it's going to tremendously change your life. It's going to catapult your life into another dimension. More content until you are content. It's a man's world, and I'm happy you're part of it. See you next time. Love you.